Alright, let's break down one of the most talked about stories today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's latest Gaza plan, and why it's sending shockwaves across the globe. On August 10th, Netanyahu took to foreign media, defending his plan to expand Israeli control in Gaza. His words? Our goal is not to occupy Gaza, our goal is to free Gaza. But what does free actually mean in this context? According to Netanyahu, Israel's aims are to demilitarize Gaza, install a non-Israeli civilian administration and, this is key, give the Israeli military overriding security control. He says there's a fairly short timetable for all this to happen. Israel's security cabinet already approved the plan. The military's been told to gear up for the takeover of Gaza City, but also to keep humanitarian aid flowing for civilians outside combat zones. The catch? This phased plan could last up to 5 months and force around 1 million Palestinians to evacuate from Gaza City to the south. Reactions have been fierce, both inside Israel and abroad. Hamas calls the plan a full-fledged war crime, accusing Israel of being indifferent to the fate of hostages still held in Gaza. Within Israel, opposition leader Yair Lapid slammed the move, calling it a disaster which will lead to many more disasters, and even accused Netanyahu of giving in to far-right ministers. Military leadership isn't on board either. Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir and other top brass have voiced their opposition. They warn that pushing into Gaza City could worsen the humanitarian crisis, endanger about 50 hostages, and exhaust Israeli forces already worn out by nearly 2 years of continuous fighting. Analysts say Netanyahu's choices seem disconnected from military advice and even from what most Israelis want, suggesting he's driven more by his own political survival than by strategy or consensus. Globally, the backlash is intense. Countries like Germany, Belgium, Spain, France, Turkey, and more have either suspended arms exports or summoned Israeli diplomats to register their disapproval. The UN's top human rights official says the plan must be immediately halted and goes against international law. Meanwhile, Netanyahu is pushing back. He claims there's no choice but to defeat Hamas, and he's dismissing criticism as a global campaign of lies. But with mounting international isolation and growing protests at home, even from families of hostages, Israel's leadership faces a storm on all fronts. So, what happens next? That's the question everyone, from the streets of Gaza to the halls of the UN, wants answered. Stay tuned for more updates as this story unfolds.